We're going to open the show with the first topic being from the NFL. It's only right since the Pro Football Hall of Fame game is today as of this recording. I don't know when you're watching it, but as of this recording, that game is taking place today. So football is finally here. I know it's just one game and it's the preseason and you're like, Neil, that isn't exciting. We ain't really trying to see those players as much as we're trying to see our team, with full throttle. But it's still football. We still got to be excited and happy about it. We got to be grateful that it's back. But one thing that is very interesting to talk about is the fact that Sean Payton, new head coach of the Broncos, slammed Nathaniel Hackett, which was the previous head coach last season for the Broncos. Some say he broke an unwritten law, an unwritten rule on how, coaches should speak to other coaches. Of course, we're going to dive into this because I'm curious your thoughts. But first, it's only right that we do the whole background on what's happening, what's taking place, and why this is all, started. Well, what I'll do is I'll share this up here first. Let's go more full screen for this one. This is from NFL.com, but it's actually from an article on USA Today with Jarrett Bell. Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. Peyton told Jarrett Bell of USA Today. There's so much dirt around that. There's 20 dirty hands for what was allowed, tolerated in the freaking training rooms, the meeting rooms, the offense. I don't know Hackett. A lot of people had dirt on their hands. It wasn't just Russell. He didn't just flip. He still has it. This is BS that he hit a wall. Shoot, they couldn't get a play in. They were 29th in the league in pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball. You guys are seeing, where this is heading, right? Like you guys can tell, these quotes are about to be a little crazy, a little crazy. There's some more here though, so let's bring it back up. That wasn't his fault. That was the parents who allowed it. That's not an incrimination on him, but an incrimination on the head coach, the GM, the president, and everybody else who watched it happen. Everybody's got a little stink on their hands. It's not just Russell. It was a poor offensive line. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. Come on. Seriously? Who does this? One more thing. It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed, and that happened here. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much damn time trying to win the offseason. I threw damn in there. Not sure which curse word, expletive he used. The PR, the pomp and circumstances, marching people around and all this stuff. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming. Remember when former Commanders owner Dan Snyder put that dream team together? I was at the Giants. I was a young coach. I thought, how are we going to compete with this team? Deion Sanders there now. That team won 8 games or whatever. So listen, just put the work in. So if you guys are seeing what's happening here, you're catching the drift, right? Not only is he bashing last year's head coach for the Broncos, which is, not commonplace, right? Even if you disagree with it, obviously the guy got fired, so things probably didn't go well. They don't typically handle it in that kind of fashion where they're bashing and, saying all these negative comments about the coach, right? Not just saying like things didn't go well here last year, literally naming the guy, saying everything that went wrong. So you can see the trend here, right? On top of that is the comments against the Jets. So in line there, not only did he bash Nathaniel Hackett, he also went to attack Nathaniel Hackett's new team, which is the Jets. So I don't know if he attacked, to the Jets just to follow up on knocking Nathaniel Hackett, if it was, against Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I mean, he plays them week 5, but why single them out now? It's a little odd. It's a little weird. So the only, correlation could be that Nathaniel Hackett now is a coach there. And so he's continuing the attack, which again, it goes past defending the Broncos. It goes past defending Russell Wilson. You're now just attacking the guy just to, continue to attack the guy. So it doesn't make much sense. It's pure hate. And again, it's not what we typically see when talking about these kind of things. So I just want to share a couple of clips here. We'll watch a couple of videos really quickly on comments made by the Jets head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to get all of them in here really quick. So let's go ahead and pull these up right now. Let's go full screen a little bit for this one for you here. Let's go ahead and listen to what the head coach said.
Well, I'm not going to acknowledge Sean on that. He's been in the league a while. He can say whatever the hell he wants. But as far as, what we have going on here, it's, I kind of live by saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So hate away. It's obviously we're doing something right if you got to talk about us when we don't play you till week 4. And I'm good with it, but the guys in our locker room, they've earned everything.
How about that? He said he must be popping. I like it. I like the swagger. I like the conviction there. I like what Robert Saleh says here. So this is just kind of an idea, again, he's looking at it like, I don't know what's going on, but all I do know is if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So hate away. That's the confidence. That's the confidence that they're carrying now. He has that confidence already, but you can't tell me Aaron Rodgers isn't a big piece of that. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers has brought a lot of confidence to this organization. Now, it wasn't just him. As I said, we got a couple more quick clips to share here from the team. This is actually Nathaniel Hackett himself commenting on, what's taking place.
That's how we've lived everywhere I've been. No excuses. So I own all those things. And it's unfortunate that had to happen, that the comments that were made, but hey, they did. I'll tell you, I was probably more surprised that they happened now. Was definitely expecting them in week 5. So I'm almost thankful that we got that, out of the way.
He's thankful he got it out of the way. But again, and he went on in this to say, he lives in a glass house. That's what coaches do. And again, like he said, he's shocked, surprised. He does mention that there is a code and there's a way things are done in the house. This past week, it's frustrating and it sucks, but we're all susceptible to it. So again, I like this. Pushback from the head coach of the Jets. I mean, again, they took shots at the head coach. I mean, they took shots at the Jets. So I love that he spoke up. I love that Nathaniel Hackett spoke up, but that wasn't all that spoke up, because besides those two, this man also spoke up. Aaron Rodgers had something to say as well. So let's go ahead and play that.
Those comments were very surprising. For a coach to do that to another coach. My love for Hack goes deep. We had some great years together in Green Bay, kept in touch. Love him and his family. He's an incredible family man, incredible dad. And on the field, he's arguably my favorite coach I've ever had in the NFL. Just his approach to it, how he makes it fun, how he cares about the guys, just how he goes about his business with respect, with leadership, with honesty, with integrity. And it made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well.
I love this. I love that Aaron Rodgers spoke up. I love that Robert spoke up, not just Nathaniel Hackett having to defend himself. So I don't know if Payton is trying to rally the troops, if you will, put the Broncos in the headlines, etc., get his guys amped up and excited. I don't know if that's the case, or if he's feeling the pressure of being the weakest team in the AFC West, because that's exactly what they are. I don't know if he's trying to establish himself as a top tier coach, put his name up there in the conversations, because again, he's with the Broncos. They're not talked about as much. It just is what it is, unless it's in a negative way. So maybe he's pushing back in some form. No clue. I just don't like this approach in terms of, trashing the former staff, trashing the former coaches. You can say a team didn't have the type of success you wanted or that you expected or that they needed, and so that's why you're here to try to, to fix things. You got to kind of be a little humble about it. I don't think it's, the way to approach it is to trash a coach, bring this type of heat onto your team. I think that the players have to wear that now. They're going to be asked questions about it, or they're going to have to see it on social media. And so I don't think it's a good approach. We'll see if it works for them. We'll see if he's able to get these guys excited, and, it does amp them up, and it does, put some confidence in Russell Wilson. Maybe he feels like the team lost confidence after last season, and that, him behaving this way and talking this way will kind of, bring them back to what he thinks they should be. I don't know. We'll see if it works, right? We'll find out very quickly if this type of, noise works for the team. I will say this. The irony is he knocks the Jets, right? He knocks the Jets, talks about Hard Knocks and, the Aaron Rodgers, signing and all this noise that they're making. Meanwhile, he's doing the same exact thing with the Broncos by running his mouth, but like in a negative way, right? Like no one's putting a target on the Jets' back because they're going to be on hard knocks. No one's putting a target on their back because they signed Aaron Rodgers, right? Like these are just basic things. There's no outliers to this. It's not like some, braggadocious, crazy thing that they're doing, that they're like, sign Aaron Rodgers or, being on Hard Knocks. So What he's doing is a little more negative though, right? Like the way he's attacking them, the way he's attacking the former head coach, like that's frowned upon probably not just by people in the league, but by fans. I'm curious if Bronco fans are appreciating the approach. I want, if you're a Bronco fan and you're watching this right now, drop it in the comments if you or just Bronco fans in general are happy with the approach that Sean Payton has taken. I think that he ends up on the bad side of this result wise. I think that the Jets come out looking good. Hence why I don't like when head coaches do this, right? I just don't think that you should talk about other teams that way, other coaches that way. If you're playing them that week, it's okay to, kind of give them headlines a little bit if you want. I mean, I think it motivates the team and I really wouldn't encourage it at all. When a coach comes in and he takes over a team, I don't like the whole putting blame on certain players, coaches, or anything for the previous, performance of that team before you arrived. I think it's better to just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Talk about, hey, it's a new year. We're looking forward to the future. We're not looking backwards. I don't care about none of that. This is a new regimen, a new team, a new situation, a new culture we're building here. I don't care about talking about the past. He's doing the exact opposite of that. Again, I'm curious your thoughts. Whether you're a Broncos fan or not, I'm curious your thoughts. Would you prefer your team's head coach, the new head coach, no less, to take this kind of approach? Or would you prefer them to be a little more humble about it? Even if they feel that way, you don't always have to say how you feel, right? Like sometimes it's better to just keep those thoughts to yourself, keep it in-house. Even if that's been discussed in-house, right? Like even if he's spoken that way to Russell Wilson, spoken to the team like that in team meetings, you don't have to go to the media with it. Because again, you try to knock off, cancel out as much as you can in terms of, the pressure put on by social media, put on from the media and the headlines, the papers, the podcasts, TV, YouTube shows. The less of that, the better for your players. Whether people want to admit it or not, players are watching those things, they're reading those things, and they are being affected by it for the most part. So why put that added pressure on teams? So I personally am not a fan of this at all. But again, I love continuing the conversation in the comments, continuing the conversation on social media. So whether you're watching on YouTube right now or if you're listening on a podcast platform and you want to just hit me up on social, at Rival Fantasy on any of the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those good things. If not, again, YouTube comments, my favorite place to continue the conversation. Let me know, Bronco fan or not Bronco fan, would you, prefer your coach to take this approach or would you rather not?